Hi, I read Death Comes to Pemberly by P.D. James, and it's a takeoff of the novel Pride and Prejudice that was originally written by Jane Austen. What can I say about this book? It's a good book, but it's not great, okay? Here's the plot, right? Anyone who read Pride and Prejudice knows that Lizzie and Darcy got married at the end of it, right? After going through all those obstacles of almost like hating each other, but then realizing that they loved each other. Well, the novel starts off 6 years after Pride and Prejudice is finished. Now, we know that Lizzie and Darcy have 2 sons, and it is the time for the annual ball at Pemberly Estate when a lot of people end up showing up who are rich and wealthy, as well as Lizzie's family. Well, one of her sisters, Lydia, comes in a carriage up to Pemberley Estate, and when the carriage door opens, she falls out of the carriage saying that Wickham's been murdered, and she's devastated, and she's in hysterics. So a search party gets organized to go into the woods to find Wickham and another mysterious person. Well, when they get there, they find that Wickham is fine, but another person has been murdered, and Wickham is the chief suspect because he's the only one that was with him while he was still alive. So anyways, chaos ensues, and Wickham ends up going to jail to await trial. The thing is, though, even though Mr. Darcy can't stand Wickham, he thinks he's a scoundrel for eloping with Lydia, he believes that he's not guilty. He doesn't think he's a murderer. So he actually tries to clear his name. So there's like this investigation that's going on to talk to people who knew the person that was murdered and who maybe held a grudge against him and who would have actually followed him. And so that ends up getting completed. The part of the book that I felt was really boring was the trial scene when Wickham is cross-examined, because it goes on for about a week, and you're just trying to figure out, is he the murderer or is the real murderer going to step forward? Are they going to find him in time? Well, they do find out who the real murderer is, and Wickham does go free. But it's shocking to me who the murderer is, and I just would not read this book a second time. I feel like you're better off reading Jane Austen because she's a great writer. She wrote 6 novels during her lifetime, 4 of which that I can remember are Persuasion, Northanger Abbey, Pride and Prejudice, and Emma. She has her own style of writing, and it's very unique, and there's always a happy ending. It usually results in a marriage, a birth, or someone comes into fortune. This does not really leave you with a happy ending or a great sense of, wow, that's a great book. Especially for me, it didn't. So I would give it 3 out of 5 stars. And I would recommend it only to people who are in college in an English-based course who could appreciate it more. However, with that said, I did have a sense of imagery going through my head. For instance, during the scene in which Lydia's carriage goes up to the Pemberley Estate and she falls out of it screaming, I could actually picture that in my head. I could picture her running around saying that Wickham has been murdered and being in great hysterics. I could also picture the scene in which Wickham is cross-examined in his responses to the questions. I don't know. It would be interesting to see if this was ever actually made as a movie, because in the Pride and Prejudice movie from 2005, you have Keira Knightley in it, and she plays Lizzie, and then you have Matthew McFadden, who plays Darcy. So maybe if it was them playing the parts, I could actually see it. Maybe my mind would change, but for now, that's what I would say about Death Comes to Pemberley by P.D. James. Talk to you later. Bye.